Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of The Marraige Man. Today I wanted to share a story about the couple that fought over pillows. This is a couple that came into my practice probably 5 or 6 years ago, and they were pretty early on in my practice, and they really helped me understand a dynamic that happens in a lot of marriages. And so I wanted to share this story with you because it taught me a lot, and hopefully you can learn something from it as well. So this couple I had been seeing for a couple months and they were doing well, and so they shared that they had had a fight probably a night or two ago, and it was about pillows. So I said, okay, talking to the husband, tell me about the story, what happened? And he told me that they're getting ready for bed because they go to bed at the same time, and he takes these big fluffy ornamental pillows that are on their bed, and he went and he put them on the dresser. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, from his perspective, his wife blows up. She's angry, she's pissed, and it surprised him. Where did this come from? And they argued about it, and they didn't really feel like they got anything out of it. So we broke it down in counseling. Now, this is kind of what happened. So from his perspective, this is what he was thinking. I'm a guy. I'm not a big fan of these pillows. If it was just me, I would throw them on the ground and just go to bed. I don't care about them. What I do care about, though, is I don't want my wife to trip over these in the middle of the night if she has to go up and use the restroom. So I'm going to do something very loving to my wife. I'm going to take these big pillows, and instead of throwing them on the ground, I'm going to put them on this dresser over here. That way my wife won't trip over them. And then all of a sudden when she blows up, he has to think, wait a minute, I did something nice. I just showed my wife love. Who starts a fight over pillows? And so let's look at it from the wife's perspective. What was she thinking? And as we talked through it from her perspective, what we learned is that she had developed a belief in her head, not just that night, but over the years of their marriage. And the belief went something like this: my husband is so selfish that he puts himself first and me and his stepdaughter second. And when the wife thought about this, it didn't make her happy. It didn't make her smile. In fact, it made her angry. So every time that he would do something that from her perspective looked like he was being selfish, she would get mad. And so from her perspective, she sees her husband taking these pillows, putting them on her dresser. And in a moment, this just happens for all of us, it just takes a flash. She thinks, okay, who's going to have to put those pillows back on the bed? Because my husband goes to work before I get up. It's going to have to be me. There he goes again. He's only thinking of himself. He's putting himself first. And so all it took was just that momentary belief, and boom. And the husband, not knowing what was going on, was very confused by this. So as we broke it down in counseling, they began to understand that they weren't actually fighting about the pillows. They were fighting about things that they believed about each other, because the husband had started to believe over the years that my wife just starts fights. She just loves to argue. She just loves to just kind of jab at me. And so when she gets mad because I did something nice, there she goes again. And so because each of their beliefs kicked in and they both immediately got defensive, the fight went nowhere. And as we talked about it in counseling, they were able to understand each other's perspectives and see it from the other person's perspective. And that's a lot of times what couples have to do. You're gonna have fights, but the fights come from inside. They come from your heart, they come from your belief. And if your partner doesn't know what those beliefs are, they can't deal with it. So this couple, now knowing what they needed to do, could talk through it. So if this showed up again, the husband, when his wife all of a sudden just blows up out of nowhere, can say, wait a minute, hold on, did you think I was being selfish right there? And she could say, yes, I think you're being selfish. And he could say, oh, no, I wasn't being selfish. This is why I was doing it. And that could diffuse her. But if he doesn't know how to diffuse her, if he doesn't know what is going through my wife's mind, he's going to get defensive and he's not going to be able to navigate that. So that's why it's so important for couples to dig back into their fights and say basically statements like this: when you, then I. It's really great because when you can tell your partner when you put the pillows on the dresser, I felt like you were being selfish. Or when you got mad because I was doing something loving, I felt like you were just wanting to start fights. And so armed with this knowledge, the couple was able to work through fights like this in the future. And so hopefully the same can be true of you. If you and your partner seem to be fighting about things that you really shouldn't be fighting about, they're small, they're petty, instead of looking at your partner and saying, when are you going to change? Look at yourself and say, why does this matter to me? What does this make me believe? And then go to your partner, again, not when you guys are arguing, but when things are calm, when things are tranquil, and just say, hey, the other night, the other day, when you, then I. And then just kind of leave it at that. Just say, look, I'm not trying to tell you that you're wrong or that you saw it wrong. I just want you to understand me. When you, then I. And if couples can do that, and they can do that in a way that's not provoking defensiveness, that's not making people upset, they can really start to get a better handle on fights. So I hope this has helped, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, but a quick shout out, I just want to say thank you to all my supporters and my subscribers, the people that follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Your support over these last couple months has just been amazing, and I'm just so very appreciative. Thank you all, and as always, I will see you in the next video. Bye.